Hey guys, I'm Muse.
And I'm Ithika.
And we're here for Zelda Universe to give you the weekly mailbag.
Hooray!
So our first question is from Caroline Jean Ziesk, and she says, I've read that the Zelda U game is supposed to be massive, like that there were 3 parts to a dungeon and a huge overworld layout. Exactly how big could this game get? Could such a large game be detrimental to the franchise? And then to add to that, Sepp said, its dungeons are supposed to become as big as Ocarina's Hyrule Field. Or so I've read, but I think the franchise will profit from it. They can show them what their power their new system has compared to Microsoft and Sony, if they use the graphics of the tech demo at least.
Well, the first thing I would say is that Zelda games have always historically been pretty big, like since, as Ocarina of Time was mentioned, I'll use that, like Ocarina of Time is a huge game, and then Majora's Mask was a smaller game with more stuff in it. So, and every Zelda game I've ever played has been quite huge and like 70 and onwards hours to the game, and I think that's kind of what Zelda fans expect. So I would say it's definitely not going to be detrimental to the series unless they did it bad, but they take so many years to make Zelda games and they're normally really polished by the time they come out.
The only way size can really be a bad thing is if they're taking time that maybe they should have used on gameplay or story and put it into making it needlessly bigger, which is fairly unlikely for a Zelda game. As for how long and big it's actually going to be, we don't know.
No.
But the Wii U is pretty capable. I mean, Skyrim was out on last gen consoles. We could see something as big as that.
That would be so good.
But the other thing is, as referred to Nintendo like showing off compared to Microsoft and Sony, they don't care.
Yeah. They've left the rat race. They've left the rat race of graphic competitiveness behind ever since the GameCube.
It's not what they do. They don't innovate through pretty, and Zelda tech demos are really nothing to judge Zelda games on.
Yeah, like everyone remembers the one from when the GameCube was still codenamed the Dolphin, and it had Link fighting Ganondorf, and it was all realistic, and it was adult Link, and it was all dark and mysterious, and then we got Wind Waker.
Yeah. Where's your tech demo now?
Yeah. So I generally think that tech demos with Link are because maybe people who work for Nintendo are fans of Link and they like just rendering him doing stuff.
It's just, yeah, it's a staple Nintendo thing everyone recognizes, and it's a little bit prettier than like a Mario.
Yeah, like,
so it's a good use for a tech demo, but it doesn't really, in my mind anyway, have any bearing on what kind of game we're gonna see.
And often the tech demos are not as pretty as the actual thing. Like that Link, he was all like shiny and waxy looking, and then Wind Waker Link was just so pretty. Is that the question? Did we answer it?
Yeah. That's right, you get small questions.
Yeah. Our second question is so good. Marianne Sarju asks, could Sheik ever reappear in other games? I think she should. I agree, Marianne.
She should.
Yes.
Could she? Well, I mean, anything is possible.
Anything is possible, as my Italian tutor once said.
Will she?
I don't think so. The reason that I don't think so is that Zelda, by its very nature, is an incredibly formulaic and traditional game. And Sheik, while Zelda often has an active role in the story, Sheik is a result of a very specific set of things that happened to Zelda in Ocarina of Time, and I don't believe that those things would happen again because you'd just be remaking Ocarina, which has already sort of happened in Ocarina of 3DS, and it's just like, I don't think so.
We're more likely to see another Sheik-like character than we are to see Sheik exactly.
Like Tetra.
Yeah, like Tetra. It's likely that there are some events that may cause Zelda to become badass again, but it's probably not going to be in the form of Sheik.
Yeah.
Next up, Michael Rowlands asks, do you think that Ravio would have his own game and have it called The Legend of Hilda? Again, it's not what we want, we're just being logical, and again,
people want Link games. And as long as people keep buying them, that's what Nintendo's gonna make.
Nintendo likes money, and I like money too, so we have something in common.
Yeah.
However, I mean, we might see a Smash Brothers cameo.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a pretty cool fighter because he could just have all the items and he'd be really flexible and interesting to play. But as far as his own story as a protagonist of a game goes, James Barclay asks, I know that Majora's Mask was another part of the world, but a few friends and I were discussing the origins behind the Zelda universe, and we noticed that the mask in Majora not only looks somewhat similar, but also has a nearly identical backstory to Midna's mask in Twilight Princess. Is there really any connection, or are we overthinking it? Also, along with Majora, why is it that at the end you get the fierce deity mask, and Majora says, that is the true evil? Well,
that is the true evil!
Micah.
Hello.
Personally, I think there are no coincidences, because Zelda has been around for 26 or 7 years now. It's a year older than me, so it's 27.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that anyone who's working on a Zelda game is probably a Zelda fan to some degree.
They're going to be influenced by past designs, and they may be trying to make connections.
Yeah, and there's definitely a deliberate aesthetic link between games because you're trying to set it in the same or similar worlds, so
and
you have like
keep a
cultural
theme
things
going.
Yeah.
But we don't really think the mask looks that similar, if we're honest.
Yeah, I mean the eye shape is similar, but that's...
Is that just a style thing? Is it trying to keep it culturally the same? Is it trying to aesthetic? They just look quite different in our opinions.
Yeah, and also Termina is a parallel universe. So the idea that they have, like, if the universes are mirrored, then maybe Majora's Mask and Twilight's Midna's Twilly Mask have a similar purpose and a similar origin, but there's no lore behind saying that they're connected. It's a popular fan theory.
But there are so many of those.
Yeah.
Because fans love Zelda.
Exactly. The answer we're trying to give you is maybe, but we don't know, and we think that there's probably both no coincidences, but also nothing more behind.
This might be a coincidence.
Yes.
We need to answer the other part of the question.
The other part of the question is... Oh, right, the Fierce Deity Mask, yeah. The Fierce Deity Mask is also referred to as the Oni Mask, which is Oni as demon in Japanese. So that tells you something about it. It definitely has a similar corrupting and evil power and maybe malevolence behind it to Majora, and that's confirmed in a few different things. Like the fact that Link can only wear the Fierce Deity Mask when he's fighting a boss, and he won't wear it out in the town because then he'd probably kill children. Like, he makes the choice to only use the power when it's absolutely necessary. Yeah. And there's the theory that it's given to him in the hope that it will corrupt him and thus be, in a way, the ultimate evil, but Link is just so good that he doesn't allow that to happen. Yes. Next question is from Jimmy Random Word. That's a good name. Yeah. Way better than my last name. Well done, your parents. Yeah. And he says, okay, can we at least agree on one thing, everyone? Nintendo never meant for Zelda to have a timeline and literally whipped this up right on the spot. So much of it makes no sense. We can and we can't. Yes and no. Obviously, because Zelda started out as a single game on the NES a really long time ago. Many years ago. Games, they probably didn't even know if they were making more. It was a simpler time. And games weren't as big and there was only text, and we don't think they intended to from the start. No, but they've certainly been deliberately constructing a timeline. I was going to say at least since Ocarina of Time, but I really think since at least A Link to the Past. There are definite things written into those games and all games that come after them that can be used to form a timeline. But the thing is, you're saying the timeline makes no sense. So like, we agree in the sense that we don't think it was intended from the get-go, but we think the timeline actually does kind of make sense. It works remarkably well considering how much is done retrospectively.
I guess the incredibly shortened version of this long and rambling answer is no, we agree.
Yes.
Because we agree with you on one point, yes, they probably didn't intend it in the first place, but no, we think it makes sense.
Yeah, as much as it can make sense. Like if you compare it to...
There's a lot more thought in it than just being whipped together.
Yeah, it wasn't whipped together. And also there's things written into it, like, so you've got...
The
Twilight Princess has stuff written in it which references the Sky People
In
from Skyward Sword. So that was planned many years before it came out. So they're beginning to actually put deliberate things in it. And then also in a new game, they retrospectively like work in bits of history.
So it's only going to make more sense
as time goes on. Thanks very much for watching and sending in your questions, guys.
Yeah, if you've got any more questions for future mailbags, please leave them in the comments below.
Hooray!
We're from a different YouTube site and website called XXP. It's spelled xxpgames.com.
Or XXP vlog at YouTube.
So you should come check us out there as well.
Please watch us, we like things, and we also love Zelda.
Zelda!
So don't forget to send your questions in.
And give us a like and a subscribe so that we can know you like these videos and make more.
Hooray! Thanks for watching, see you next time!
Wonder Woman spin.